I went back, it was 1994.
All right, okay. So
and it was post-Glasnost, and I've forgotten the name of the man who was in charge, the one who liked to drink, and the name beginning with K. But Yeltsin, and it was totally different, quite disturbing. There were a lot of beggars, a lot of drunkenness, also masses of traffic, huge traffic jams, and great many very broken down cars.
So it seemed like it went downhill rather than...
Yeah, at that time it was, yes. And the battered cars, and there was a shortage of petrol, so people couldn't get petrol for them, and there were broken down cars dotted around the city, just left at the side of the road, like people trying to get petrol. And the shops had changed. The shops were getting much more recognisable as like Western shops, you know. We went to look at gum, but it was a bit disappointing because it had gone all sort of Western European, you know. It didn't look like it did the first time I went. The first time I went, there was a massive queue snaking all around the building and down the road. We went to look. Peter went to look what it was for, and I think it was for hats. And then there was a queue for oranges, because different food was quite hard to come by in the 1970s, but it had all changed when we went. And we had a sponsor who owned a factory, and we went to his factory for lunch and into the factory cafeteria, and we got lovely food. It was cooked in a very small canteen on a small scale, and it was really interesting. It was.
Did you manage to see any of the same sites you'd seen?
Well, yes, I went back to Red Square, and Red Square had changed because sort of certainly the shopping site had changed. The History Museum looked the same. And the second time I went, I thought I would see Lenin's tomb, which I didn't do the first time. I really didn't want to. Didn't want to the second time, but we all went in, and I thought, what would my father think if he thought I'd gone to Moscow? I've just got to do it. So.
What was that like? It must have been a bit.
It was very chilling and unpleasant.
I can imagine.
And I looked at this, whatever it was, whether it was an embalmed Lenin or a waxwork, I really don't know.
I've only ever heard people talk about it.
Yes.
And apparently it just looks plastic and
oh, it
weird.
does. It's awful, and it's terribly cold in there, and sort of very. It was hot weather when we were there in the summer, and you got inside the two, and it was all chilly, and there were these soldiers standing there.
Is it
a garden?
It was guarded,
yeah.
Yes. It was.
So many people flocked inside.
Yes,
still
yes,
there now.
but there were still people there, not big queues. The first time we went, there was just a massive queue.
And that was just the initial,
and I think it's mostly tourists, really. Went to a hotel called Hotel Ukraina, which is absolutely wonderful. It was one of the old Stalin enormous buildings, like a fairy tale castle.
Yeah.
Very intimidating, right looking over the river. It was an exciting building to be in. We enjoyed that, but we felt a very strong feeling that there was all sorts of skullduggery going on. And
while you were in Russia both times, were you comfortable all the time while you were there, or were you ever
I was comfortable, but I think I was predisposed towards Russia, partly because of my father, partly because I loved Russian literature and Russian music, and I was just very happy to be able to go. So I just felt happy being there.